Hi, this is David with David's Tutorials, and in today's video I'm going to do something different. I want to talk to you about video number 100. This is the 100th video I'm posting on the channel David's Tutorials. So we're going to celebrate here, and what I'd like to do in this video is tell you a little bit about the history and the development of the David's Tutorials channel, to tell you the current structure of the channel as it sits right now, and to talk with you about the future directions we're going to take with the channel. I got my start with creating videos in 2002 when I was living in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and a friend of mine who lived in Nashville, an old high school buddy, he was doing his doctoral dissertation, and he asked me for quite a bit of help creating tabular data. Is what he wanted, to line it up and make it look really good. And since Murfreesboro is about an hour and a half south of Nashville, where he lived, I decided it wouldn't be great for us to have to get together over and over and over again. So what I did was I had this brand new software I had bought, Camtasia, which you will see a link to that in the description section down below, that would do screencasts that I could talk and narrate as I recorded what was going on my computer screen. If you've been watching David's Tutorials channels for a while, you've probably seen several of those. But anyway, I decided to go ahead and make a video about how to do what it was he wanted me to show him how to do, and I sent him that video. It worked so well, I put it up on YouTube. Now, at that time, I only had one YouTube channel. It was basically a catch-all everything channel, and I put all my family videos there, and I put these videos showing my friend how to do things up on that channel. But after that, I started poking around at making family videos for several years, and I was really kind of having fun with it. And in 2009, I captured a video during a family dinner that seemed like it had some possibilities. So I brought it into Camtasia, the video editing software. I wrote music, a full symphonic score, and from that thing, I made a 1 minute and 17-second video about this particular event that happened at the family dinner, and I put it up on the channel, and then I put it up on Facebook and shared it with my daughter and her family and my son and his family, and they spread it around, and I was really kind of surprised when it went viral. Now, what does it mean by going viral? What happened was very quickly the number of views on that particular video jumped to more than 100,000 views. Like, wow, hey, this is pretty cool. Well, that inspired me to get started making more videos. Now, by this time, I had a couple of other tutorials up on my family channel, but I decided we need to separate the family channel from the tutorials channel, and that's when I decided to start David's Tutorials as a separate channel on YouTube. 2 years after I posted how to rake and bag leaves the easy way, there's a link to that down in the description. That one particular video, it went viral. Went to not just 100,000 views, it went to several 100,000 views pretty much overnight, but it took it 2 years to get there. And now, as of the time I'm making this video, it's just barely short of 4.3 million views. I promise you, nobody out there is more surprised than I am that it has gotten that many views. But that particular video and its success gave me huge motivation to continue making more and more videos. And I began making them usually about one a week for 6 months to a year. And this video is number 100 I'm posting right here on David's Tutorials. I started with video editing in Camtasia, as I mentioned, which is primarily screen recording software, but it also works wonderfully for other kinds of editing, and it's pretty easy to learn. Now, I have been immersed in at least 4 different very high-level video editing programs. Camtasia was the first. And of them all, Camtasia is the easiest to learn. But along about 2012, a community band that I direct, I bought a new video camera, a better video camera that recorded HD video, which was a lot better than, oh, by the way, let me tell you what it was better than. The video I recorded in 2009 of the family dinner, it was a flip video camera. Remember those things? They're about 6 inches long and 2 inches wide, and you had to hold them upright. And when you plug them into your computer, they install their own software without asking. Well, anyway, the new camera I bought, it was a Sony, I think it was a PV 260 or 280, and it even had a projector in the little flap that comes out with the LCD screen. And I thought, oh man, this is great. I'll be able to watch my videos anywhere. You know how many times I've used that projector capability? Maybe twice, and then only as a demo. I've never really needed it. So that was a good idea that just didn't pan out. Anyway, I bought this camera and I set it up in the balcony of the auditorium where we were holding our concerts, and I turned it on and I let it go, and it recorded the whole concert. And if you're interested, let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll give you a link to where those videos can be seen. But from 2012 all the way up through 2019, I recorded the concerts, every single concert that we did on that particular video camera. The problem was this video camera recorded in a format called M2TS. Unfortunately, Camtasia would not import the .m2ts video format. Now, the video formats use what's called a codec. That means a coder, decoder, codec, coder, decoder. And they each have their own ways of doing things. And most of these codecs have a patent on them. And if somebody like Camtasia wants to use the .m2ts codec, then they're going to have to pay a fee to the patent holder of that particular codec. Unfortunately, there is a huge boatload of codecs out there, and consequently, most software video editing programs can't pay the fee to license all these codecs, so they just get the most popular. So I went out there and I began looking for a new video editing program, and I came across a program called PowerDirector. So I bought that. It was on sale at the time, cost about $50, which isn't bad. And matter of fact, I think you can still get it for less than $100 today. And I began to study how to use that. Basically, what I found out was it will import the .m2ts format, and I could then render the video clips that I brought into PowerDirector into .mp4 format, which is a different codec, and import the MP4 format into Camtasia, where I did most of my editing. This was kind of going around my elbow to get to my thumb, as my mother used to say, but it worked, and it allowed me to continue to process the videos from my community band. I also began learning a lot more about how to use PowerDirector, and while I never did get to be truly fluent with it, I did get to be not too bad with it, enough to recognize some of the power that it did have, and it has a lot of power. Now, as I was studying how to make all these videos so that I could keep doing them for this channel right here, I kept hearing, of course, that the top video editor in this space is Adobe's Premiere Pro for anybody that works on PCs or Macs, and I don't even know whether they have it for Linux. And so eventually, along about 2017, I bit the bullet and I got an Adobe Creative Cloud subscription. At that point, I began to learn to use Adobe's Premiere Pro, and it is tremendously powerful. Of course, like any powerful software, it is hugely complex, and it takes a long time to learn how to use it. Fortunately, it would import both MP4 and .m2ts video codecs. So I used that for a couple of years, but I was really not happy with Adobe's pricing model. They won't sell you software anymore. You can only rent it from them at a subscription fee. So you're going to have to pay them every single year. And if you're not with TechSoup, you're going to wind up paying probably $700 a year or more. with me making at most 4 or 5 videos a month, $700 a year is kind of steep. In addition to which, they kept upgrading Premiere Pro. Eventually, they upgraded it to the point I could no longer use it. They removed the ability to import the .m2ts codec. So I began looking around for another video editing package, and I came across Blackmagic's DaVinci Resolve video editor. And it turns out I really like DaVinci Resolve. The first reason I like it is because the basic version, which is like 95% of the professional version, is absolutely free. Now, Blackmagic, they want to sell you a lot of hardware. They want to sell you these consoles. They want to sell you the hardware. They want to sell you their cameras. So they're giving you this software for free, and it is hugely powerful. And the other thing I like about their pricing model is that for about $300 to get the Pro package, which I haven't needed anything in that Pro package yet, you get a lifetime license. It is not ongoing fees, and I like that. So here it is, something that is every bit as powerful as Adobe's Premiere Pro. The price is right. It's just as complex, which means it's just as hard to learn. But if you just keep poking at it, learn a bit here, a bit there, a bit here, and a bit there, you're going to learn it eventually. So I am now moving kind of over to DaVinci Resolve for many things that I cannot do in Camtasia. I do a lot of things in Camtasia still, especially the screen recordings, but I also do a lot of things in DaVinci Resolve. And that's just kind of where we are with David's tutorials today. Let's talk now about the current structure. My very first goal of David's tutorials and the channel is that I want it to be family friendly. I want people to be able to come to this channel and watch my videos and be totally confident that they will not be assailed with vulgarity or profanity or obscenity or negativity or hair on fire rants about politics or anything. I want parents to feel comfortable if they know their kids are watching a tutorial here on David's Tutorials. The second goal of this channel is I want it to be useful, helpful. I want to be able to look back and say, hey, I have helped a lot of people. Now, you probably have gathered that I am a teacher at heart. I have taught in public school classrooms. I have taught to private organizations, to corporations. I have even taught a seminar full of nothing but flight surgeons. These are doctors who have a specialty in aviation physiology and certify pilots to be able to fly. So I have taught dentists, I have taught corporate computer programmers, I've taught a lot of people, so I am definitely a teacher at heart. I love teaching. Now, I have such a wide variety of interests. If I just pile them out there in the channel, it could be kind of confusing to people. Okay, here's a recipe. Oh, it's delicious. I want to see more of his recipes. So they go to my channel and they see how to start a lawnmower, or they see how to do things in Microsoft Word, or they see how to clean up your computer. I said, wait a minute, I thought I wanted recipes. So what I had to do was I had to make playlists. If you click on the David's Tutorial icon or name right below where it says how many subscribers or how many views we have, just click on that. It'll take you to the David's Tutorials YouTube homepage, and you can then, one of the tabs across the top under the banner is playlists. If you click on the title playlist tab, it will show you all the playlists I have. Now, I think there's 9 playlists there right now, but there are basically 8 playlists that I have that I basically categorize all my videos into one, sometimes more than one, of these playlists. Let me go over real quickly with you what these playlists are. First, there's computer skills. These are general computer know-how, usually for PCs. Now, I've had a Mac in the past. I had it for a while, and I tried to learn how to use it, but I got frustrated because I could never make it do just what I wanted it to do, and I can do that on a PC. So PC is where I was comfortable. I gave the Mac to my daughter, and now I'm pretty much exclusively PC, but I know a little bit about Mac. If you're on a Mac computer and you need Mac tips, I know there are plenty of people out there in YouTube land who will make plenty of great tutorials on tips for the Mac. But right now I am mostly PC tips, but I also have tips that will work on any machine. The next area of interest is Microsoft Word tips and tricks. Microsoft Word has pretty much become the default go-to word processor for everybody. If you want to make serious documents, you need Microsoft Word, and that is another program that is hugely powerful. And of course, with the power comes the complexity, and there are tons of things that Microsoft Word can do that I'll bet you never knew, and I certainly never knew. So whenever I come across one of these things, I'll make a new tutorial on it, and I will put it up under the Microsoft Word tips and tricks. Now, as I was first getting started making serious videos here for the David's Tutorials channel, I went to Microsoft Word as a good starting point topic. And I said, you know, there's an awful lot about tabs in Microsoft Word that people probably don't know and they would like to know. So I made a series, I think it was 9 videos on all you need to know about tabs in Microsoft Word. And that's on its own separate playlist. And I'm not addressing that here as a separate list because I do believe it falls right under Microsoft Word. Anyway, a lot on Microsoft Word. I have another playlist called Life Skills. And this is basically general everyday tutorials, things that don't fit anywhere else that teach you how to be a better person in life. For example, one of my favorite videos, and it hasn't gotten a whole lot of views yet, and maybe it will sometime soon, the #1 most important decision you will ever make in your life. That is a very valuable video, and I followed that up with 2 more, the #2 most important decision and the #3 most important decision. But anyway, there are several more in the Life Skills playlist. Another playlist is food and cooking tips. Now, if you've watched any of my food and cooking tips, you've probably already discovered I really like being creative in the kitchen. It could be appetizers, or my recent video on summertime fruit salad. What happened was I recently was digging back into the guts of my computer's filing system, and I uncovered this giant list of recipes I have both created and compiled from other sources over the years. And I think I need to post all of the ones that I created right here on the Tutorials channel. The summertime fruit salad that I posted last week, that's one of them. And it is just so good and so simple. Because to get on my list of favorite recipes, #1, it's got to be really, really good. And #2, it can't be too difficult to make. Once it's got those 2 criteria met, it goes on the list. I write it down, and I'm going to be making those. There's probably a couple of dozen of them, and if I make 1 a month, that's going to last us 2 years. So stay tuned for some of the recipes in the food and cooking tips area of David's Tutorials. Anyway, another tutorial area I have is home how-tos. I've learned how to do several things around the home. As a matter of fact, one of those about how to have your door that opens and closes itself, stop doing that. That's become one of my very top ranking videos here over the last few months. So you might want to check that one out. I'll put a link to that one in the description section down below. Another playlist I have is Finale Music Engraving. You heard me mention earlier that I direct a community band. Well, one of the other things I like to do is write music, and I do a lot of music writing. And to write the music, you need to have, these days, a music notation and engraving program, and the one I use is Finale. So I know a lot of you people out there are not into music writing or music notation or music engraving, so you don't have to watch any of these. You can if you want to, but you don't have to watch them. But for those people who are into Finale, there's some really good tips in my Finale music engraving playlist. Another playlist I have is YouTube tips and tricks. Now, since you're right here, right now on YouTube watching this, you can probably benefit from learning some of the tips that I have uncovered along the way as I've been using YouTube. For example, this is not in any of my tips right now, but did you know that if you're listening to a YouTube video, your up and down arrow keys will change your volume? I'll let you figure out which way is which. Another playlist, and I believe this is the last one I'm going to tell you about, is interviews. Every once in a while, I come across a person who specializes in a particular area, and sometimes these experts will even consent to being interviewed on camera. And this playlist is where I post these interviews. Right now, I believe I have 3 videos on this one. One is what to know before having a tree taken down. Another one is what are pasture-raised eggs and why you should care. And another one is what to know before hiring a janitorial service company. So we got 3 of them on that list. Okay, that's the current situation of David's playlist right now. Let's take a look at the future directions. For the future direction of this channel, I do plan to continue making videos in those areas of interest that I just told you about, those particular playlists. But I am also considering adding several new interest areas where I have a great deal of experience, training, and knowledge, areas in which I would love to share my knowledge. And these areas are, now before I go on and tell you what they are, I'm going to ask you right now, if any of these particularly catches your interest, please leave me a comment in the comment section down below this video and let me know, yes, I want to learn a lot more about this. These are areas in which I am pretty much an expert. So I'm going to consider adding these to my playlists. First one is education. How to teach. For most of my later years, I have been totally dismayed at how few people employed to be teachers actually know how to teach. It is totally frustrating when you see somebody out there who is having a job as a teacher and they stub their toe over and over and over again because while they may be subject matter experts, they don't have a clue about how to teach their expertise. I have that expertise. For a number of years, my job was teaching subject matter experts how to be teachers of their expertise. This particular lack of knowledge about how to teach is particularly glaring at the college level, where all you need to have in the way of qualifications to be a college teacher, believe it or not, is a master's degree in any subject. It doesn't matter what. It could be underwater basket weaving, and a minimum of 18 hours in the topic for which you are teaching. For example, if you want to teach computer science, then you need to have a master's degree in something. It could be music composition and 18 hours in computers. And then you're qualified to go out and be a teacher. And you know what's truly frustrating? You don't have to have 1 hour of training in how to teach. So this particular new playlist, education, it could be educational pedagogy, will be an area where I want to teach everybody out there how to be a very effective teacher. The second area that I have an intense interest in and have been studying intensely for years now is health. Health updates. I will have reports and conclusions on scientific studies I have read. One final area, and then I'm going to let you go, that I would like to make a whole bunch of videos on is something that you know I have been studying now since 2009, and that's video making. I've been learning as much as I can on how to make these videos best for you, how to make them more effective, how to have more impact, how to have good picture, how to have good sound, how to have good outlines for what you want to present. And if this is something people are interested in, leave me a comment in the comment section down below, and I will start a playlist on video making tips. Well, that's all I've got for you today, right now. Your feedback will really help me know which direction to move in the future with this channel. Do use that comment section down below. And if you'd rather not leave a public comment for the world to see, head on over to my companion website, www.davidstutorials.com, and read more about this channel and leave me a personal message on the contact form there. I would love to have you share my videos so that more people can be aware of this channel. Currently, we have over 16,000 subscribers. I think it's just over 16,500 subscribers on the channel, and that totally amazes me. When I was in a classroom, the most people I ever taught in one class was about 300 for a couple of classes, and the second most I had several classes of 85 people, but most of them were like 30 people down to 15 people for small seminars. On YouTube, I can reach thousands and thousands. I can reach millions of people, and that's one of the reasons, me being a teacher at heart, I love being able to post tutorial videos on David's Tutorials channel. Tell you what, if you can help me by recommending my channel to everybody you know, and we can get the subscribers up to 50,000, I'm going to hold a giveaway for something good. Don't know what it is yet. Your suggestions are welcome on what it could be that would be a giveaway. No, I'm not going to give away a car, so don't even ask. But when any channel hits 100,000 subscribers, YouTube sends that YouTuber a special play button plaque, which is really kind of cool. At this point, I can't even imagine getting that many subscribers. Thank you so much for staying with me this long. I hope you have found at least some things that are entertaining and educational, even if there's not exactly a tutorial going on here. So I want you to all stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you in video number 101.